What's going on, everybody? I am here on Zwift, finally being able to recap one of my races. I have been waiting a long time for this. I have upgraded my computer. I have bought a video camera to capture me riding, a new microphone. I've gotten it all just to do this, and I'm so excited to finally bring this to you guys. Today, the race is the DIRT Dadurday Chase Race that happened on March 7th. I'm in category B, and the course is sand in Sequoias. And the race finishes on the Titans Grove KOM, so it's about 1.5 laps with that rolling terrain that's gonna cook everybody's legs and make for a really, really tough day out. It is a hammerfest anyway during these events, and usually they're on a pretty flat course. Like there'll be one kicker of a climb to kind of break up the group and push everybody. But this, with the rolling Titans Grove terrain, it's going to make it really interesting. And my strategy for these races is to do literally as little work as possible, do not get dropped, and hang on until the penultimate moment where I can really unleash the power and try to break away for the win with a group, or at least just in the front for like a sprint finish type thing. I don't really have like a high sprint power, but I do just unleash whatever I have left at the end of every race. And you'll kind of see like my adrenaline kind of come out when I cross the line. I'm not going to give anything away, but right now we're just speeding through the desert. Nothing really crazy happens on the flat part. It's just a hammer fest. I mean, I'm pushing up into zone 3, 4, and sometimes even into 5 right now. 300 watts around there. It is not an easy day. It is not like other Zwift races where you can kind of sit back and shelter and let other people kind of carry you. This is just a hammer fest until the end. Every race is about like 50 minutes to an hour, and yeah, it is just painful. I mean, I'm sure if you go back and rewatch me in the corner of the screen, you could probably see my face get redder and redder over like that 13-minute period. I am hot already. It is hot in my room. I have that window open next to me, but it is not doing enough, I tell you what. So we are on the first climb up to the Titans Grove area, and I decided not to use my power up. I just wanted to kind of see if I could push myself far enough where I didn't need it and save it. And I didn't need it, and I was fine. During these races, it's really easy to cook yourself, and you want to conserve energy as much as possible, especially up these climbs. Because I mean, you see like some of the guys up front, I mean, I'm sure they're pushing over 5 watts a kilogram, 6 watts a kilogram, depending on their weight and like the power. Like they're not easing up. Like these with the goal of catching the group in front of you, the pressure is on to just hammer it out and get there as soon as possible. The group in front of you leaves the pens a minute ahead, and so I'm chasing C's, and then A's are behind us trying to chase us down. And usually we will catch up to the group ahead of us as long as the group is actually big enough. And in this case, there are a whole lot of us. There's 50 riders total that started the race. I don't know how many are still here, probably somewhere around there. It takes a little bit of time for people to kind of start shutting off because everybody is really strong in these races. So my strategy through the Titans Grove was to let the roller on the backside push me down and let my cadence get really, really high, as you'll see in the next coming ones. See, I'm spinning up at 110 RPM at one point, and that's just going to carry me over the top for some momentum, so I don't have to sit up and grind it out over the top of these little hills. I mean, I don't even like going through the Titans Grove when I'm not racing and just on like a regular route. I try to avoid it at all costs. Even though the dynamic part of the route kind of adds something to take your mind off the fact that you're inside, I try to avoid it. But here we are on the first time up the climb and just kind of seeing where everybody's at. I do hit that featherweight power up just because I had saved it at that point. And nobody's hammering it out against everybody else. I mean, we're still doing good power up this thing, but it's not until the second time around that the fireworks really come out. But for now, the slugfest continues up the climb. And on the way down, I do get a chance to kind of recover. That's about all the recovery you get, is down the short descent to the next little kicker where people do mount a little bit of an attack, but it is manageable. I get through it. So from here, we're just going to jump right ahead to the second time entering the Titans Grove, because nothing really happens on the flat. You know, everybody bunches back up together. So this is where the fun really begins. Straight away when we hit this climb, I go for the featherweight power up because I do not want to take any chances. I do not want to get left behind on this climb. Maybe I'm just a little nervous because, you know, I want to be there at the finish. I want to be able to, you know, at least have a top 10, top 15 finish. I don't know about going for the win. It is so hard to win these races, guys. If you're coming out to a Zwift race and your goal is to win every single time, unless you're an absolute dog, an absolute freak, I don't know I don't know too many people who really have won Zwift races. It is obviously very possible to do, but the strategy and the amount of 1 second decisions you have to get right, it's too much pressure, at least for me, to put on myself to say, you know what, no, I'm going to go out here and win. Really, for me, especially because I haven't been in this sport a long time, is I just want to get to the starting line. I literally just getting in those pens, signing up for the race in general, like that's the goal for me, and to just put out the best effort I can. That is my goal every single time I line up. It's not about a trophy. It's not about the finish. It is just about getting there and doing the actual thing. So here we do catch the C's and some D's that are with them, which pushes the group together, and there's a lot of riders behind me at this point, and I did not really know what was going on behind me. I had thought they had fallen off maybe a little bit. I mean, it's easy to see now looking at, you know, the screen. I can see how far away they are behind me, 1 meter. You know, but then, you know, you look back and you see, you know, 20 meters. So some people are falling off, and you can see it in the box graphic of the map and the dots. You can see how far back they are. So up here, I do catch the C's, and I kind of use them as a little bit of a momentum kicker, kind of draft kind of thing to push me over this first hill. And, you know, at this point in my head, all I'm thinking is just make it to the last climb. Just make it to the last climb. Just nothing worse than giving it so much effort and then being dropped right at the end of the race, especially when it comes down to just hitting one of these hills wrong and having to chase back, and then you just cook yourself. You're out of gas, and that's just the last thing I wanted to happen. So we're speeding down to the final climb, and it's setting up to be a pretty good finish. There's a lot of riders, a lot of bees around me, so I think I can hook up with a group and kind of pull off to the line. So we're just about to hit the base. Sadly, the one thing I do wish I had was a power up. I have no feather in the bank, so it's just going to be purely me, no help from a power up. So this is how it unfolds. Everybody's kind of together, and you can see people kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Who's going to go out first? I'm looking over at the watts per kilogram. That's always a great way to know is who's putting out the effort, who is going to break away, who's still got it in the tank, and who's not doing a lot of work. Do I need to do a lot of work? So it's always good to keep in mind that you don't have to be doing the most work in the group. You just have to be doing enough to stay with them. So here we go. We are officially climbing. It's not very steep, just 3%. It just carries on for a while, and it's steep enough where it's decisive enough that you have to make a move, and people are going to drop the hammer just like that A rider did. And he's gone. Nobody even follows him, if I remember correctly, but it does start to string out a little bit. You can see some of the riders starting to hit 5, 6, 7 watts per kilogram, and this is where it's going to start to string out. And this is where I watch the race unfold in front of me. I'm here, I'm waiting, I am conserving my energy, you know, pushing into zone 5, but I'm not dead. I'm not giving it all I have. And they just start to pull away. And the string gets tighter and tighter, and then they just go out ahead of me. And I really thought maybe around this corner, I thought I was going to be able to bridge up to them. I thought maybe they were going to juice it too hard and they were going to fall back and it was going to be more of a bunch situation, but they proceed to lay down the hammer. And these are the 1-second decisions you have to make when you're Zwift racing, especially. When I'm here, I could have stood up or just dropped the hammer and caught up to them. But I just decided, nah, I just don't think I have it, or I don't know if I can get there, or I don't know if I can stay with them, or I thought they were going to come back. So I hung back for the duration of this climb. So at this point, what I was thinking is, all right, at the last switchback, that's where I'm going to drop the hammer. That's where I'm going to let it loose. And you can just see the front of the group just riding away. It's not even that I didn't have it in me. I just decided not to go. And I was really putting a lot of faith in the fact that I thought they were going to come back. But you can see that gap opening up. Here we go. They're gone. 2 feathers in front of me. I got nothing. But I'm hanging with them, pushing almost 400 watts at this point. It is coming down to it. And we're approaching this last hairpin where I'm going to drop the hammer, I've decided. And, you know, even though I don't have a power-up, I'm staying with them just fine. Wasn't really a big deal. And, yeah, you know, those riders are in the wind. They were probably pushing, if we're being honest, they were pushing way too much power that I could probably handle. And if you look next to me on the left, that is actually my dad, who was in Category C at this time, low-key sandbagging because he could absolutely race B, but he said he wasn't feeling well, so he just wanted to get his legs back under him in the Category C. So here we go, hitting this last hairpin, pushing 5.5 watts per kilogram, up towards 6 watts per kilogram in the seat. I stand up, and I just give it all I have. You know, it's not really a sprint, more of like a standing effort. Yeah, you know, I'm juicing it pretty hard, though. I'm not going to say I'm not giving it all I have left. I mean, I am laying it all out there. I soloed to the line. If I pulled the trigger a little bit earlier, I bet I could have caught those guys. But here we are. I will take the 10th place, as you will see. And I am stoked about it, guys. I am just letting that adrenaline pour out of me at the end of the race, whatever I have left. And, you know, I'm super happy with that. So thank you all for watching. It was a great race. It's a great event. I'm going to do this every time I do a race, virtually or in person. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and like and subscribe for more.